This short video has been created to give a brief introduction to builders, developers and designers who want to seriously improve their productivity and profitability, whilst at the same time providing an enhanced service for their clients and complying with tough new regulations. In this video, we are going to be covering a lot of ground, much of it live on screen as we draw and estimate a house in just a few minutes. Remember, you can also import existing DWG, DXF, PDF and JPEGs into Plans Express to utilize your existing drawings to the full. We'll also be showing you how you can instantly prepare building regs notes based on the drawing and specification before you. We'll also be showing you how you can prepare photorealistic 3D models with a single click of the mouse. The software also produces fantastic 3D floor plans to help your clients understand their projects. We'll then be having a look at how you can produce an estimate with just a couple of mouse clicks in a couple of minutes direct from the drawings, including live prices from Jewson's, Travis Perkins, TradePoint, Graham's and Screwfix, all with your own discounts embedded. We'll then be having a look at how you can plan your job. This takes just a couple of seconds. Once you have planned your job, the software will instantly produce fantastic full color graphs like cost cash flows, breakdowns of material types, and many more reports and graphs. We'll then be showing you how the software can generate a multi-page quote in seconds, or if you want a simplified quote, even more quickly. Once you've created several jobs, you can merge them together to help you plan your work smoothly. Finally, we'll be looking at Health and Safety Expert 2015, which produces all your documents to CDM 2015 in minutes. Health and Safety Expert is an additional module which is available at extra cost. The software produces risk assessments and cost assessments, design phase documentation, pre-construction information packs, company health and safety policy, health and safety plan, along with hundreds of management documents to keep you safe. So without further ado, let's start doing the drawing. Okay, so here we are in Plans Express. Before we start drawing, let's have a quick look at the screen. On the architectural ribbon, you'll see all the different elements that are available within Plans Express. There's over 500 different entities to place on the drawing. Let's start with some external walls. Choose the wall and the wall height that you want to do. I'm going to do a multi-story wall at 2550 high. Now you'll notice that the wall is now shown as 2775 high. This is because we're doing a 2550 high wall plus the thickness of the floor zone at 225. I can vary the thickness of the walls. I can change my foundations and footings, and I can confirm whether I'm painting and decorating and plastering the wall. This information is being collected for use in Estimator Express if we want to use it. I can then place my wall on the drawing. Simply click around the construction lines and the walls are drawn. The process is exactly the same for internal walls. It's just a matter of dragging, clicking and placing it on the drawing. I'm going to set out my corridor 2000 millimeters wide using the arrow keys on the keyboard. I'll just place another couple of walls on there to give you an idea of how easy it is to use. There's the basic layout. At this stage, if I want, I can refresh the drawing and you'll notice that all the junctions are automatically repaired by the software. I can now place some windows on the drawing. Let's go for the softwood dummy sash windows. And place those on the drawing. I'm simply going to snap these to the midpoint for the purposes of this demonstration. The process is repeated for other types of doors. Repeat the process for internal doors. And there you have it. Let's have a quick look at the 3D view. So straight away you're starting to get a really good idea of how your property looks. Okay, I'm now going to copy that floor and use it upstairs. I don't want to copy the external doors, so tick that off. I want to remove the foundation, and I want to make all the walls 2550 upstairs. The program then copies that information. I'll just drop in one or two more windows. And again, we can see the 3D. If we'd put the floors in, they would appear as well, obviously. Okay, I'm now going to drop a roof onto this. Choose the style of roof. In this case, I'm choosing an apex roof, and place it on the drawing. Repeat the process for the front. Let's choose a hip roof for the front. And straight away, the software builds the roof. Just need to drop another window on that front elevation. Redraw. And your house layout is complete. I hope you can see that you can very quickly generate your three-dimensional house designs in a matter of a few minutes. I'm now going to show you the photo visualizer tool, which produces a high quality photo of the property. We can also bring in backgrounds or photographs from the actual site. There you have it. Using the comprehensive tools within the photo visualizer, you can easily demonstrate to clients and planners how the building could look using different materials. You can also quickly create 3D floor plans and even add individual colors to different walls. Right, the next thing I'd like to show you is how to draw elevations. To do that, we use the elevation tool. Simply select the elevation you wish to produce. Provide your viewing position, and the elevation is drawn. Repeat that for the rear elevation. Give the viewing position, and once again the elevation appears. Finally, the side elevation. To provide dimensions, simply select the wall, middle click, and the dimension is automatically generated. So, in just a couple of minutes, you can fully dimension the drawing with a few mouse clicks. You can then add on other labels onto the drawing, incorporating a wide variety of fonts and sizes to create attractive and unique styles. You can also add details to the elevations, such as heads and sills. First select the sill and then simply place on the drawing. There, you can see that you can do it in a matter of seconds. Next, we will add some soldier courses over the windows and doors. Once again, this is completed in a matter of seconds. So, we have clearly only spent a few minutes preparing this drawing. We could easily have added upper floors and staircases, as you can see. Internal partitions and bathroom layouts and much more can easily be added also. Internally, you can add plumbing and electrical components. Externally, you can add drainage and all types of external works. In this part of the video, we are going to import all the items we placed on the drawing, including walls and feature stone, roof, doors and windows, along with the floor slab, first floor and stairs that we showed on the drawing. Had we added drainage, plumbing and electrics, they too would be estimated. Let's have a quick look at how Estimator Express works before we open the software and start the import. It will be helpful to go into My Settings in the software to view all the components that go to make up an estimate. From the Settings menu, you can configure the system to use your chosen resources, define your specifications, set your profit and anticipated inflation, and edit your standard Gantt charts and reports. We will look at many of these components later as we go through the software. But let's first have a look at the price book. From the price book, the system can download your prices from the HBXL website, including your discounts in seconds, from Jewson's, Travis Perkins, Graham's, Keyline, TradePoint, Screwfix, Electric Fix, Plumfix and Builder Warehouse. And of course you can enter your own products and prices from local suppliers. You'll then need to spend a few minutes checking the hourly rate you pay for labour, the daily or weekly rates for plant. The next part of the system is the specifications. Let's go into My Specifications. The specification allows you to precisely define what labour, plant and materials are used in your estimate. For example, you may want to use as standard a particular block, insulation and plastering system, and precisely define how long it takes your operatives to lay or fit those items. We ship the software with numerous standard specifications, but you can also create your own. In this example, I'm showing two specifications for AJ Builders, a high quality and a basic specification. Looking inside a spec, you can see the sort of thing that's going on. For example, we're in the cavity wall specification here, and you can see that the bricks above DPC by default are set at 75p each. They're part of the brickwork shell, and there are 60 of those to the square metre. So 60 times 75p is £45 a square metre. Similarly, if we look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see that the cost to lay those bricks has been defined by choosing a 2-in-1 gang, whose hourly rate is currently set at £65. They're also doing this work within the brickwork shell, and it takes them 0.6 of an hour, about 2/3 of an hour, so the rate is £39 a square metre. This is created by multiplying £65 an hour by 0.6. This process is completed across the entire specification for every element in the build. Okay, let's see how these items fit together. Initially, you download your prices from the HBXL website with your discounts, edit your own labour and plant prices, and then the items in the specification are a subset of materials chosen from the price book. To create the estimate, The system imports the geometry, i.e. the areas and lengths of walls, and merges that information with the specification, which in turn is drawing the prices from the downloaded prices from the website. The software therefore automatically creates numerous reports and quotations with a single click of the button. To start a new estimate, click on the New Estimate button. Enter the job name and select the type of job. Click on the Import from Plans Express button. Check that you have the correct drawing. Select the price book. In this case, I'm going to use my London price book with increased prices for labour and plant. Choose the specification. I'm going to use the new build Part L specification. Choose the roof tiles. Select a brick price. Select the Gantt chart you wish to use. This will help you plan the job. Select a start date. Enter the customer's name or the plot reference. Set the profit margin or the markup to cover your overheads if you are a developer. And finally, set the rate of inflation. This will be used to estimate the impact of inflation on your building costs. This is very important as projects often have a delayed start and take many months to complete, and HBXL software automatically progressively builds in inflation to cover that cost based on your Gantt chart. Click Finish and the estimate is completed. As you can see from the timeline, the estimate has been completed in just 2 minutes. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can see all of the workbooks that have been imported from the drawing. If we wish, we can also add other sundry items, such as the site establishment costs, covering things like site cabins and fencing. We can add allowance for services, fitted kitchens, utility rooms, bathrooms and cloaks, etc., if we have not placed those on the drawing. Let's have a detailed look at what the software has done to calculate these costs. We'll have a look at the brick and block cavity wall. On this worksheet, you can see there are numerous walls that have been imported from the drawings. The length of each wall has been captured, along with the height of the wall, and also calculated all of the window and door openings in each wall. As we scroll down the screen, we can see that all the foundation characteristics have been captured. Further down the screen, you can see that the software has carried out a whole series of calculations to work out areas of walls, gables, and so on. Further down the screen, you can see that the import process has assigned all of the areas, lengths, and volumes to the various specified items. For argument's sake, if we look at the bricks above DPC, we can see that a total area has been calculated and assigned against the facing brick that we picked when we created the estimate. The software has carried out over 80 calculations dealing with all materials, labour and plant. If I click on the View Resources Output button, the software then provides a detailed view of each item in the estimate. Let's have a look at the brickwork above DPC. As we saw earlier, the facing bricks at 65p have been selected. There are 60 of those to the square metre. 60 times 65 pence is £39 a square metre. A wastage factor has been allowed. You can change that if you wish. The total area of the wall is calculated at 211 square metres. The total cost of the bricks in the wall is £8,245 plus wastage, giving a total cost of £8,863. The software has also calculated that we need 12,685 bricks and has made an allowance of 951 bricks, meaning that 13,636 bricks are required. Using the same techniques, the software has also calculated the cost of laying those bricks. We've allowed £65 an hour for a 2-in-1 gang. It takes them half an hour to lay a square metre of brickwork, or £32.50 a square metre. Again, there are 211 square metres, and the total cost for laying just the bricks are £6,871. The software has calculated that it takes 105 hours to lay those bricks. The same process has been completed for every item of labour. The same sort of process has also occurred for plant. As you can see, by default from the specification, we've allowed a JCB. The rate of production for that is 0.06 days per cubic metre, meaning that the software has allowed £13.50 per cubic metre. This type of process has occurred for every single item within the build, giving you a very accurate and detailed estimate. Let's now have a look at the Gantt chart. When we created our estimate, we selected a 4-bedroomed house Gantt chart. This can be easily edited to reflect the precise job that you're working on. Simply choose the build phase you wish to adjust, for argument's sake the planning application phase. Adjust the duration. You'll see the bar at the top of the screen is changing as I click on these, and then press Cascade. This then reprograms the remainder of the chart. It is therefore possible to create a Gantt chart for each house in a matter of seconds. If we then go into the Reports Manager, we can then see at the top of the screen that there are a number of charts. For argument's sake, I can have a look at the cost cash flow. The software is merging the Gantt chart information along with the costs to give a cash flow profile for the entire job. This can also be viewed in terms of costs. The dates are down the left-hand side and the cash flow on the right-hand column. We can also look at detailed cost reports. Here is a cost summary. I can easily drill down into the information by dragging the buttons on the left-hand side of the screen. Here you can see that the software has separated the labour, material and plant costs. If I drag another button down, you can see that it is now separating that by resource type. I can drill further down into the information simply by dragging more and more buttons. For argument's sake, we can see that the labour for the brickwork is 15,291. If we drag another button down, we can see how that resource is being expended. We can also filter the information to provide additional insight into the information by selecting the various tick boxes. Here is a plant report for the entire job. The software comes with numerous reports. For argument's sake, I can have a look at materials task list. This tells us what materials are required on site, at what date, and what is the suggested order by date. Within the price book, you can enter your own lead time for each product, so that you're right on top of your ordering processes. Amongst the many reports, you can also use the quotation inquiry. Print this out and send this to your supplier to save even more money on products. Again, you can filter this report to send to specific merchants. Let's now have a look at other documentation that Estimator Express can produce. For builders working directly for customers, you can quickly prepare a quote showing the complete detail of everything you have allowed for. You can prepare quotes with as much or as little detail as you wish. For example, if I wanted to produce a detailed quote, I can select key resources, phase totals, build phase pictures, sales price including inflation, customer-friendly descriptions. This will provide an abbreviated description of each material used, and press print. The software then invites you to add VAT if necessary. On this occasion it's VAT free. Click OK and the software will produce the quote for you in a few seconds. If we look at the bottom of the screen on the left hand side, you will see that the software has produced a 16-page quote. The software comes with a neat cover page onto which you can add your own logo and address and so on. There is then an opening letter which is fully customizable, and in fact you can save multiple versions of this for different types of customers. As we drill down into the estimate, you'll see that everything has been fully described. If for argument's sake we look at the brickwork shell, you can see that each element has been described. Looking at the bricks and blocks above DPC for argument's sake, you can see that it's picked up the 65p bricks. As we scroll down through the quote, you can see that everything has been defined. If on the other hand I wish to produce a more abbreviated quote, I can go through the same process, but on this occasion I'm simply going to have a basic summary of the costs for each phase. Once again, the quote is prepared in seconds. On this occasion, you can see that we only have an H-page report reflecting the abbreviated nature of the quote. And as you can see, there is just a basic summary of all the work included. The next item we will look at is the Notes Wizard. This powerful tool will generate a complete set of building regs notes which you can either produce as a Word document or embed into the Plans Express drawing. On this occasion, I'm going to simply produce a Word document only. Once you have loaded the dialog, press Create Notes and the software will build a complete set of notes based on the actual materials you have specified on the job, alongside a set of standard notes which are designed to comply with building regs. This set of notes is entirely editable to meet local requirements. Here you can see the software has produced a 10-page set of notes. The notes begin with all the general notes that are required to comply with building regulations. Then, as we move further into the document, you will see that the software merges the specific items specified on the job with a series of standard notes. Estimator Express also has options to provide automatic production of invoices based on a valuation of the work constructed and an advanced stage payment calculator. You can also export the estimate to CIA accounts, construction industry accounts software, so that you can job cost the project to evaluate your actual expenditure on the job versus your original budget. I now want to briefly show you the Project Manager. This allows you to merge multiple jobs into a single project and can be used to help builders and developers carrying out multiple individual jobs or complete housing site developments. In this example, I have created 3 copies of the house at Plot 1 The Maltings to create a small development of 3 houses. I have assumed that each house will be staggered at about 6-week intervals on the Gantt chart. First, I close the jobs and return to the main menu. To create a new project, select My Projects and click on the Add New Project button. Give the project a name under Description and choose the houses you want to have in the project. Press Select and the project is created. If we now go into the Gantt chart button, you'll see all the projects are laid out one after the other in sequence. I can now filter those charts to provide me more insight into, say, the foundations and brickwork shell. I then spend a few minutes selecting the appropriate phases in the resulting dialog. In the filtered chart, I can then see whether I need to adjust any of the underlying charts to ensure smooth running of the project. Having merged the jobs and adjusted the Gantt charts, we can use the Report Manager to understand overall aspects of the job. Click on the Reports tab and the Report Manager appears. Let's have a look at the inflated costs. We can see that the cost of building the project has risen from the original $292,000 to over $305,000, taking into account the delays produced waiting for planning permission and the staggered commencements of each of the houses. If we rearrange this chart, you can now see that the inflated costs of the buildings vary depending on when they have started. Let's have a look at the cost summary. Here you can see the actual cost of the job, excluding inflation. As before, we can drag buttons down to understand the information in detail. If we wish, we can do that by job, or we can place the bars over here to see it in a slightly different format. The Report Manager allows you to analyze your data in a myriad of ways. Let's have a look at a cash flow for the whole job. There you can see the cost cash flow for the entire project. If we scroll down the screen, we can look at the materials used for the entire project. Again, we can present that in terms of each individual job. Or we can merge it together for all three projects. As I hope you have understood from these videos, our visual estimating solution, created by using Plans Express and Estimator Express together, can make significant differences to the way you approach your building work, and has been shown over and over again to dramatically improve building company performance and profitability. Finally, before closing this demonstration, I will also mention that the two systems work together with Health and Safety Expert to produce all documentation required under the new 2015 CDM regulations. As mentioned earlier, this is available at extra cost. Health and Safety Expert allows you to import your estimate and automatically generates all relevant risk assessments for the work being undertaken. Health and Safety Expert also provides easy-to-use templates to produce design phase documentation, now required under the new CDM regulations, the pre-construction information pack, the company health and safety policy, health and safety plan, and hundreds of management documents to keep you safe. So why not call the HBXL sales team on the number below, or ask for further advice from our friendly support team, or visit our website at www.hbxl.co.uk, or drop us an email on sales@hbxl.co.uk and start transforming your business today.